Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Juan the Yarn Addict, and today I present a beanie tutorial for what I'm calling Carole of the Shells. It features a ribbed crown along with tons of shells and a final round of single crochet in the back loop for a finishing touch. In total, there are 20 rounds from tip to brim, and this was so much fun to make. It's very fast and it's easy. So the yarn that I used for this project is Big Twist in Yuletide. Very, very nice yarn, and I believe I used just under 200 yards for this project, so it's not much of a yarn eater. I used a 6.5mm crochet hook for this project right here because I wanted my beanie to be extra large. So when you use the 4-weight yarn with a 6.5mm hook for this combination, it will fit heads up to 24 inches. But for the tutorial, I used a 6mm crochet hook with a medium 4-weight yarn. More specifically, I used Red Heart Super Saver in light blue, and that combination will fit heads between 19 and 23 inches. So if you want something a little larger than 22, 23 inches, go ahead and hook up to a 6.5mm crochet hook. All right, so before we get started, please don't forget to hit the like button, share the video, and then subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this tutorial. Okay, so to get started, what we need to do is create a slip knot on our hook. However you do this is absolutely fine. This is how I do it. And once you have your slip knot established, what we're going to do is go ahead and chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once we have the 4 chains, we're going to take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first chain, draw up a loop, and slip to close, just like that. From here, we're going to gently tug on our working yarn to close everything up. We're going to take our tail and pinch it against the chain and gently pull apart. And as you can see, there is a circle there. We're going to work our stitches out of that circle, but first, we're going to go ahead and chain 2. Now this chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And so from here, we're going to insert 12 double crochets into our circle. Yarn over, go into our circle, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And we're going to do that for a total of 12 stitches. Again, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and we have 1 completed already. So let's just continue on until we have 12 double crochets. Here's 3, 4, and 5. So continue on until you have 12. I'll meet you back here at the end of round number 1 in just a moment. Okay, so once we have the 12 double crochets established, we're going to go ahead and take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first stitch of the round, picking up the front loop and the back loop, just like that. We're going to draw a loop and slip to close. So that concludes round number 1. So for round number 2, what we're going to do is chain 2. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch, it just elevates us to the round. And so from here, what we're going to do is insert 1 double crochet in the top of the stitch that we just came out of. So we're going to yarn over, go into the top of that stitch there, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, just like that. From here, we're going to go downstairs and we're going to insert our front post double crochet right in front of the stitch here underneath. So we're going to yarn over, come down, insert our hook and go around the stitch just like that. Draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, just like that. We're going to do that one more time. So next door here, we're going to go into the top of the stitch with a double crochet, just like that. And from here, we're going to go downstairs with the front post double crochet. Yarn over, come down here, go around the post of the stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So continue doing this, and I will meet you at the end of round number 2 in just a moment. Once more, we are going into the top of the stitch with a double crochet, and then a front post directly underneath. Yarn over, come down and around, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, so again, continue on with that, and I will see you at the end of the round in just a moment. Okay, so here I am at the end of round number 2. I have a total of 24 stitches. I have 12 regular double crochets and I have 12 front post double crochets in my round here. So this is what the front looks like and this is what the back looks like. Very, very nice. We'll worry about this tail later on, but for now we will continue. And so from here, we're going to take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the very first stitch of the round right here, picking up the front loop and the back loop. We're going to drop a loop and slip to close. So there you have it, 2 complete rounds. Okay, so to start round number 3, once again, we're going to chain 2. And as always, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, it just elevates us to the round. And so from here, what we're going to do is go into the stitch we just came out of with a double crochet. And then from here, we're going to go next door with a double crochet. And then from here, we're going to go downstairs and pick up this stitch right here. It's going to be a front post double crochet. Okay, and so from here, we're going to go next door with a double crochet. And then next door where that front post is, up top here, it's going to be a double crochet. And then we're going to carry up this front post. We're going to yarn over, come down and around and pick up that front post and do a front post double crochet. So the repeat is we're going to do a double crochet, and then a front post to pick up this stitch right here. So let's do that. Yarn over, go in, do a double, then come next door here with a double, and then a front post directly beneath it. Okay, so continue on with that, and I will see you at the end of the round right here in just a moment. Okay, so here I am at the end of round number 3. I have a total of 36 stitches. I have 12 front post double crochets and 24 regular double crochets, and this is what we're looking like here. So to close off the round, what we need to do is take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first stitch of the round, making sure to pick up the front loop and the back loop. We're going to draw a loop and slip to close, just like that. Okay? So to begin round number 4, what we're going to do, per usual, is chain 2. And once again, that does not count as a stitch, it just elevates us to the round. And so the repeat for round number 4 is going to be double, double, double front post. Okay, so 3 double crochets and then a front post double crochet. So let's go ahead and do that. Here's the first one. First double there, and then here's the second one. And then here's the third one. And then from here, we're going to pick this directly up from underneath with a front post double crochet, just like that. And we're going to continue doing that. So from here, we're going to repeat our sequence. It's going to be double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and then front post. So let's do that. Double crochet here, and then next door here in this stitch, a double crochet. And then next door, one more double crochet before we do the front post double crochet directly underneath. Okay, so for this round, we're going to need 48 stitches. 12 stitches are going to be front post double crochets, and 36 stitches will be double crochets, okay? So continue doing this. Again, it's going to be 3 double crochets in a row and then a front post double crochet, all right? So continue on with this, and I will see you at the end of this round in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 4. I have a total of 48 stitches. I have 12 front post double crochets and 36 double crochets in the round. And so to close off round number 4, what we need to do is take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first stitch of the round, draw up a loop and slip to close, just like that. So from here, to begin round number 5, what we need to do is chain 2. The chain 2 will not count as a stitch. And for round number 5, we are increasing Our magic number is going to be 66. So we're going from 48 to 66. And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to increase our stitches in the spokes. So these front posts look like spokes to a wheel. Every spoke will have an increase, but we're going to alternate the increases. So we're here. At this spoke here, we're going to increase only by 2, and then 3, and then 2, and then 3, and then 2. If you need to, put stitch markers on the spokes that have an increase of 3. However you want to do that is absolutely fine. But for now, I'm just going to proceed forward as planned. So I'm going to insert 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So yarn over, go into the stitch that we just came out of, which is right here. Draw up a loop. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And I'm going to do that 2 more times. Once you have your 3 doubles, for this spoke here, we're going to increase by 2, which means we're going to insert 1 double crochet in the top and 1 in the front post. So let's go ahead and do that. Yarn over, go into the top of that stitch with a double crochet. Yarn over, come down and around the front, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. It should look just like that. So since we've only increased by 2 here, this next spoke will increase by 3 stitches, okay? So I'm going to slide this over, and in the next 3 stitches, we're going to insert a double crochet in each of those stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. So here we are at the spoke at the front post. So we're going to increase by 3 stitches, and how we do that is in the top here we're going to insert 2 double crochets, and then in the front a front post double crochet. So let's go ahead and do that. So there's 1 double, here's 2 doubles, and then we're going to carry up that front post with a front post double crochet. So yarn over, come down and around the stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So there is our increase of 3 stitches. From here, we're going to move on. This next spoke is going to increase by 2. So we just did 3, so now it's 2. So in the next 3 stitches, we're going to insert 1 double in the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, there's 2, and then there's 3. And then at this spoke here, as I just mentioned, it's an increase of 2. So we're just going to put 1 double up top here, and then 1 front post double in the front, just like that. Okay, so we're going to alternate. We just did an increase of 2 here. We're going to increase by 3 here. So the next 3 stitches will receive 1 double for each stitch. So there's 1, there's 2, and then there's 3. Okay, so we're going to insert 2 double crochets in the top here, 1 and 2, and then we are going to insert a front post double crochet directly underneath here. So yarn over, come down, and pick that up. Okay, so continue on with this pattern, making sure that you alternate your increases. So we just increased by 3 here. This spoke here is going to be an increase of 2, which means 1 in the top, 1 in the front. And in between the spokes, it's going to be 3 doubles, okay? Feel free to rewind and replay as necessary, but it's fairly easy once you get it, okay? And at the end of the round, you should have a total of 66 stitches. So continue on with this, and I'll see you at the end of the round in just a moment. Okay, I am back at the end of round number 5, and this is what our work looks like. It's very, very nice. I do have a total of 66 stitches for the round. It seems like a lot, but I promise it's not. All right, so from here to close out the round, what we need to do is take the tip of our crochet hook and insert it into the first stitch of the round, picking up the front and the back loop. We're going to drop a loop and slip to close, just like that. So from here, we have a very easy round coming up. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to insert a half double crochet in each of the stitches and carry up the front posts as we come along. So no increasing. So the first 4 stitches of the round will receive a half double crochet here, and then the front post. And then for here, it's going to be 5 half double crochets and the front post. 4 and 5 and 4 and 5, okay? So let's go ahead and yarn over, go into the stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the 3 loops, just like that. We're going to continue until we arrive at a front post, just like this. So we're at a front post. Instead of going into the head of the stitch, we're going to bring up that post. Yarn over, come down and around, draw up that loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and go through all 3 loops, just like that. And in these regular stitches here, these regular double crochets, we're going to insert half double crochets. So let's go ahead and do that. Half doubles. Each of these stitches will receive an upstairs neighbor of a half double crochet, just like this. And then when we arrive at a front post, instead of going into the top of that stitch, we're going to go around the front of the post. So yarn over, come down and around, drop the loop, yarn over and go through all 3 loops. And that is the repeat of the round here. No increasing. We're just going into the tops of all the stitches unless there's a post, and then we're carrying up the post. Okay, so continue on with this, going all the way around, and I will see you at the end of the round in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 6. We've inserted half double crochets on the tops of all of our doubles, unless it was a front post, and then we carried it up with a front post half double crochet, as you can see here. So this is the front of our work. Very, very nice. And here is the back. Okay. So from here, we're going to close out the round here by taking the tip of our crochet hook and inserting it into the first stitch of the round, just like that. We're going to drop a loop and slip to close. Okay, so to start round number 7, we are going to begin a 2-round repeat of shell stitches. So to begin, what we need to do is chain 2. And the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. From here, we're going to go into the stitch we just came out of, which is right there, with 3 double crochets. So yarn over, go in, drop a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, just like that. And we're going to do that 2 more times. 1 and 2. From here, we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, go into the 3rd stitch here with a single crochet, and then we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and go into the 3rd stitch here with 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From here, we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and go into the 3rd stitch here with a single crochet. And we're going to alternate between the single crochets and the shells, skipping every 2 stitches here. So we're going to skip the next 2, go into the 3rd stitch with a shell, which is 5 doubles. This particular shell will have 5 doubles. Some shells out there have more. So there's 3, 4, and 5, just like that. We're going to skip the next 2 and go into that 3rd one there with a single crochet. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Very, very nice. Just for good measure, let's go ahead and do it once more. So we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, go into the 3rd stitch here with 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches and go into the 3rd one with a single crochet. Okay, so continue doing this all the way around, and I will meet you right here at the beginning of the round in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 7. I have my single crochet here. I have 2 empty stitches here. And to close out the round, I need to finish this shell here. So the beginning part of our shell had 3 doubles. I need to add 2 more to it. So this stitch right here, which is where the chain is coming out of, I'm going to yarn over and go into that space and insert 2 more double crochets to finish off that shell. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we have 2 on this side here and 3 on the other side. And so to close off this round, what we're going to do is insert the tip of our crochet hook into the top of that first stitch right there. We're going to drop a loop and slip to close. And as you can see, we end at the top of this shell, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. So from here, we're going to begin round number 8. So round number 8 is the second round of this 2-round repeat of shells. So before I begin, I just want to let you know that at the top of the shells, we will be inserting single crochets. And then in the valleys here, where the single crochets are, we're going to insert the shells. And it's going to alternate all the way around, okay? So to begin round number 8, what we're going to do is chain 2. And then we're going to go into this shell here with a single crochet, just like that. From here, we're going to go into this valley here. We're going to look for that single crochet, and we're going to insert 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then from here, we're going to insert a single at the top of this shell, which is the 3rd stitch. It's the middle stitch here. So 1, 2, 3, we're going to go into the top of that stitch, drop a loop, yarn over and go through both loops just like that. And from here, we're going to hop over to that single crochet and insert 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From here, we're going to go to the top of this shell, look for that middle stitch. So it's 1, 2, and 3. Let's go into the top of that stitch there, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops just like that. That is what our work is looking like so far. Very, very nice. So just for good measure, we're going to do this one more time. So we have a single at the top of this shell here. We're going to jump from here to the valley here in between the shells. We see a single crochet, and in this stitch, we're going to insert 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From here, we're going to go to the top of the shell, look for that middle stitch, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go into that stitch, draw a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops. So there you have it. So continue on with round number 8, as I've shown you all the way around, and I will meet you at the beginning of the round right here. All right, in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 8. I've inserted a shell here, and the next place to insert a stitch is that single crochet. And I added that extra chain just to be able to find the beginning of the round. Sometimes it blends in, So just to make it easier, I went ahead and added that extra chain there for good measure. So to close out round number 8, I'm going to take the tip of my crochet hook and insert it into that single crochet, which is right here. I'm going to drop a loop and slip to close. So there you have it. As you can see, it's cupping, and that's perfectly okay. After all, it is a beanie. And so from here, we're going to repeat round number 7. So round number 7, what we did was we chained 2, and then we went into the stitch we just came out of with 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then from here, we're going to go to the middle stitch of our shell, which is stitch number 3. We're going to insert our hook and give that stitch an upstairs neighbor of a single crochet. And then from here, we're going to go into the valley, in between the shells, look for that single crochet, and insert 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So just to reiterate, this is the first round of a 2-round repeat. This is a copycat of round number 7. Okay, so just for good measure, I'm going to do one more with you. So in the middle of this shell here, we're going to count 1, 2, 3. We're going to insert our hook into that 3rd stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through both with a single crochet. From here, we're going to go in between the shells in the valley here and look for that single crochet. And in that stitch, it's going to be 5 double crochets into that single crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so continue on with this, and I will meet you at the end of round number 9 right here in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 9. I've inserted my single crochet above this shell right here, and then I just need to finish off the shell that we started with at the beginning of the round. So I have 3 doubles, and as I mentioned, the chain 2 here does not count as a stitch. And so I'm going to insert my 2 double crochets in this space right here. So I'm going to yarn over, go into that space, and insert 2 double crochets. So there's 1, there's 2. So from here, I'm going to insert my hook into the very first stitch of the round right here, picking up the front loop and the back loop. Let's draw a loop and slip to close. So there you have it. So I'm going to do the second round of the 2-round repeat, which in our case right now is round number 10, just for good measure. Okay, so let me just show you what this looks like so far. Here is the crown. It's very, very nice. We can kind of see a repeat happening here. Okay, so for round number 10, we are going to chain 2. And again, I chain 2 here so that we can see the beginning of the round. So from here, we're going to go into the stitch we just came out of with a single crochet, draw a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops just like that. And from here, we're going to go into the valley, in between the shells. We see a single crochet, and in that stitch, we're going to insert 5 doubles. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. So from here, we're going to go to the top of the shell here, the middle stitch, which is stitch number 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go in there with a single crochet. And there you have it. Just for good measure, I'm going to repeat this one more time. So we have the single here at the top of the shell, and then we're going to go in the valley, in between the shells. You'll see a single crochet right there. We're going to insert 5 doubles in that stitch. Yarn over, go in, draw a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So there's 1, and we're going to do that 4 more times. It's 2, it's 3, and that's 4. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 doubles completes that shell. Okay, so continue working on this for round number 10. Go all the way around the project here, and I'll meet you right here at the beginning of our round in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 10. This is the second round of a 2-round repeat. And this is what it looks like so far. Very, very nice. So to close off round number 10, we are going to go ahead and slip into that single crochet, which is right here with the tip of our crochet hook. We're going to go in, drop a loop, and slip to close just like that. So we have round 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I did the 2-round repeat twice. And so what I'm going to do here is I am going to put a piece of yarn in my work right here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue repeating this 2-round repeat as many times as needed to get to just about the end of our work. Okay, so for you it's going to be just a moment, for me a little longer. So I'm going to chain 2 just to kind of mark the beginning of the next round, and I'm going to continue working this 2-round repeat. I'll be back in just a moment to tell you how many more rounds you're going to need to get towards the end of the project, okay? But from here on out, it's just going to be this 2-round repeat, okay? So I'll be back in just a moment with our counts here for how many rounds we need to get to the end. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so I am back. Here is the stitch marker that we placed after round number 10. So to get to the stopping point before we begin on the brim, you're going to need to do 8 more rounds. So in total, we have 12 rounds of the shells. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So as it stands right now, this last round is round number 18. Okay, and so this is what it looks like. Very, very nice. And so feel free to pause me so you can catch up, but for me, I'm going to press forward and continue on. I'm going to close out round number 18. I have my shell here of 5 stitches. I'm going to go into that single crochet as I've done previously. I'm going to go into that single crochet, drop a loop, and slip to close. Okay, so there are only 2 more rounds left. This next round, round number 19, we are going to even out our wave. As you can see, we have a bit of a wave going here. So there is a bit of a repeat here. So the first stitch is going to be a double, then it's going to be a half double, and then the next 3 stitches will be singles, and then we're going to go back to a half double crochet and repeat that sequence. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Round number 19, we are going to chain 2. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and from here we're going to go into the stitch we just came out of with a double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, go in, do our double, and then next door here it's going to be a half double crochet, yarn over, go into that stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops just like that. And in the next 3 stitches we're going to insert single crochets. Go in, draw up a loop, you have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both loops just like that. And we're going to do that 2 more times. 1 and 2. From here, in that next stitch, it's going to be a half double crochet, just like that. And then in the next stitch, it's going to be a double crochet, which essentially is beginning this repeat here. So let's go in with a double crochet, and then we're going to continue on with this repeat. So after the double, it's going to be a half double, just like that. In the next 3 stitches, single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then in this next stitch here, it's going to be a half double crochet. And as you can see, we are completely flat, which is exactly what we need. Okay, so let's continue on here. This next stitch here is a double crochet. So it's a double, and then a half double, and then 3 singles. 1, 2, and 3. In this next stitch, it's going to be a half double crochet, and then we're back to the double crochet at the bottom of the valley there. And there we have it. Okay, so just for good measure, I'm going to repeat this with you one more time, but after that, just continue on until the end of round number 19. So after the double crochet, it's going to be a half double, 3 singles, there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. After your 3 singles, we're going to insert a half double crochet, and then now we're back at the double crochet. Okay, so continue on with that, and I shall see you at the end of the round in just a moment. Okay, so here I am at the end of round number 19, and you should have ended with a half double crochet because the first stitch of the round was a double crochet. All right, so to close off round number 19, what we're going to do is insert the tip of our crochet hook into that first stitch, draw up a loop, and slip to close, just like that. So for round number 20, it is the last round. What we're going to do is we are going to insert single crochets in the back loop, just for a finishing touch, just to give it some polish there, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 only, and then we're going to work in the back loops of every stitch and insert a single crochet. So we're going to go into the back loop, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through 2 loops, just like that. We're going to do that to every stitch in the round. Just be very careful not to pull too hard. Everything will work out just fine. Okay? So every stitch of this very last round will receive a single crochet in the back loop. So continue on with this, and I will see you at the end of the last round in just a moment. Okay, so I'm at the end of round number 20. I've inserted a single crochet in the back loop of every stitch in the round here. It's very, very nice. So to finish off our project here, we are going to insert the tip of our crochet hook into the back loop of this single crochet, the very first one of the round. We're going to draw up a loop and slip just like that. And from here, we're going to chain 2. So from here, we're going to take a pair of scissors and cut off our work. Let's just go ahead and make a snip right there. And so from here, we are going to pull the hook away from our work, just like that. We're going to pinch the tail at the top with both of our hands and slide down with the hand closest to the work. Just slide down and pinch, just like that. It forms a knot that just will not come out, as you can see. And from here, I'm going to take my beanie here and I'm going to flip it inside out. We're going to take care of this center here. So we're going to take this tail here and pull nice and tight, just like that. From here, we're just going to snip that. And then I'm going to take my darning needle and I'm going to sew in my tail here. And I'd like to use the zigzag method. However you do this is absolutely fine. We're going to yarn over the eye of the needle, pinch directly underneath, squeeze, and feed that through the eye. So I'm going to begin in one direction, go the opposite direction, and then finish off by going the direction I started. So I'm going to go in here picking fibers along the way. Just go in between the yarn. No rhyme, no reason. So I'm going in that direction. And what I like to do is I like to pinch flat right there. Okay. So now I'm going to take my needle and go in the opposite direction, going in between the fibers. And when you do that, it kind of holds the tail in place and it keeps it from coming out. All right, so there's that in that direction. And now I'm going to go the direction that I started with, picking up different fibers along the way. Just like that. I'm going to pull that through. Nice and tight, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my tail just like that. Perfect. So there it goes. I'm going to take my piece of yarn and pull that out. I no longer need that. And here we go. So I'm going to back the camera out just a little bit. There we go. And as you can see, this is our fault line here, which actually it looks really nice, all things considered. And so this is what our project looks like. It's super, super nice. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment or two, and then of course, don't forget to subscribe. I do all kinds of tutorials. So that is it for this one, and until the next one, take care, friends. Bye.